Okay, first off, forget everything you learned in English class about how to craft the perfect form for an essay. What's up, Prepsters? Hope you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving break. I'm sure the thing you were most thankful for was some time off from school. But if you're a senior, you're probably taking a little bit of time to review your college application essays before you hit that terrifying submit button and send them off to the college of your dreams and thereby determine the rest of your life and your future. Hey guys, I'm Kalyan. I am your host through the Prep Medians journey. If you're new around here, Prep Medians, the test prep comedians, teach SAT and ACT test prep through sketch comedy and pop music. That's right, we make test prep fun. You don't believe us? Roll it!
Ah, silly me.
Oh, we are diving into the world of verbs. You'll want to make changes to passages from the test only when you absolutely must.
I am genius, and that wish has no bounds, cannot be confined.
Billy, have you been linking envelopes again?
That was one time.
Alright, now let's jump in today and talk about why you're really here. The 3 biggest mistakes I've seen so many students make when they're writing their college essays. Mistake number 1. What? Oh, I forgot my voice? Well, chances are, so did you. Your literary voice, that is. You forgot to bring your literary voice to your college essay. Now, in English class, you're probably used to starting your essay off with your introductory paragraph and your thesis statement, and then the body paragraphs that substantiate your argument, and then the conclusion that restates the entire argument. And... boring. You hate writing those essays, so why would you think that somebody would enjoy reading them? The point is that you want to make the admissions counselor feel entertained, that they're watching you, that they're reading you, that they understand you. Let's think about what the admissions counselor really wants out of the essay. She wants to be able to read the essay and then go into a room of 100 people who look like you on paper, and after talking to each person for about a minute, she should be able to get to you, talk to you, and then boom, instantly know that you wrote that essay. And the reason is because your literary voice and your actual voice are both offshoots of your personality. So the essay is supposed to be connected to who you really are. Now, let's be very clear here. I'm not saying forget all grammar, but what I am saying is that those become secondary to allowing your literary voice to shine through. For example, when I applied to Yale, the first sentence of my essay was passion. And then the rest of the essay went on to talk about how I love to inhabit characters because it allows me to uniquely share my story through them. Again, that's the biggest theme for today. Share your story through your essay. Be uniquely you. So ditch the, I want to go to XYZ University to study ABC because I will become a 1, 2, 3. Doesn't tell us anything. If you're funny, be funny. If you're philosophical, be philosophical. If you're negative, be you on your best day. And really what a key is good writing engages the senses of the reader. Remember your 5 senses: sight, taste, smell, touch, hearing. A good exercise is to go through everything in your essay that you're describing and write a description for each of those 5 senses for each thing you're describing. Later on, go through and choose the best 2, 3, maybe descriptions for each thing. That's going to be the way that you get us to see that picture. At the end of the day, you are enough, especially for the college that's right for you. Now, mistake number 2. Now, this is the big kahuna. You're probably going to fall into the trap where you write what you think the college admissions counselor wants to hear. Now, I'm not saying throw in a bunch of edgy language and offensive material. What I'm really saying is don't be disingenuous. Now, for those of you who are glad that the SAT is done because you don't have to worry about vocabulary anymore, disingenuous means fake. Don't be fake. Echoing the last sentiment that the how you write your essay matters, this is all about the what you write your essay about that matters. If you've never done a science experiment outside of school and you hate the sight of blood, don't say that you want to be pre-med. If you want to become a business major just because someone in your family makes a lot of money and does business, Don't say that either. Look, these admissions counselors are the kings and queens of lie detectors. In fact, many of them actually go on to face lucrative careers at the FBI where they search for fraud. Okay, that's not necessarily true. But think about your best friend. There are days where he says to you, I'm gonna go and I'm going to do this amazing thing. And you think to yourself, he's not. But you say, sure. And you smile, and then you roll your eyes internally because you know the next day he's just gonna be playing video games. Admissions counselors receive hundreds of essays a day that they have to pour through. So they've seen hundreds of thousands of students who say that they're going to go do something, but the admissions counselor knows that that's not gonna happen. Don't be one of those students. The best thing to do before you start writing your essay is to really spend some time with yourself and think about who you are. Now, I know, you're 17 and you don't have your life figured out yet, and no, I didn't know what I was gonna do when I was 17. I didn't know that one day I would be up here making funny test prep videos for a living. Oh man. Look, for those of you who have a pretty good idea about what you wanna do, try this exercise. Imagine that you were given your dream job tomorrow. What skills would you lack to be able to properly execute on that job and crush it? Would it be soft skills of leadership to be able to manage people who are experts in different functions? Would it be a fundamental understanding of neuroscience that would allow you to create a science experiment in a field with a lot of ambiguity? Would it be the fact that you haven't traveled the world yet and you haven't developed a worldliness, an ability to understand entrepreneurship within different socio-political contexts? I don't know what it is, but take time to think about that and put that on the page. That's the reason you want to go to college. That's the reason you're not able to start your dream job tomorrow. And the goal is that once you acquire those skills, you can pursue your dream and make your mark on the world to make the world a better place. And for those of you who don't know, your goal is to get the admissions counselor to develop insights into the way that you feel and think. You know when you watch an action movie and the protagonist dies at the end and you find yourself tearing up, even though you've only known this protagonist for 2.5 hours? Well, the reason that happens, and it doesn't happen when he kills the 30 other people, is because you've spent some specific time, emotionally charged time with this character. So your goal is to create a story that engages the senses, engages the emotions for the reader, and lets them know who you are. Now, the exercise for you is to think through in your life some circumstances where you were pushed to the brink of emotion, whether that was extreme joy or extreme passion or extreme anger. What pushed you to that point? And what does it tell us about you? Remember, it's more important for you to show what is happening than to tell us. We don't want you to say, I am mad because of this thing, but instead tell us a story about how this moment occurred and you found yourself pushed to action and to create a change in your circumstances. That tells us far more than saying, I was mad. And last but not least, mistake numero tres. Too often people talk about themselves in their essays either glass all the way full or glass all the way empty. Now look, let's be real for a second. You guys are pretty awesome. You're spending time watching a YouTube video about how to craft the ideal college application essay. You care, and that's awesome. You're 17, and you're learning, and you're developing your raw potential. Now, the key is that you've also done some things in your life that are pretty cool too. So you don't want to talk about yourself like you're God's gift to humanity, but you also don't need to talk about yourself like you're worthless. You're glass half full. And by the time you graduate college, you'll be glass 60% full. And by the time you're my age, you're glass 70% full. And when you're glass 70% full, you can look back at when you were glass half full and think about how far you've come. But there's still 30% left to go. And that's the exciting part, to continue to develop yourself over time with the different resources that are available to you. Well, friends, we are at about the point where I want to wrap this video up. Look, overall, your job is to make the admissions counselor fall in love with you. And you do that by bringing your literary voice to paint the picture, writing about things that are genuinely true about you, and making sure that you talk about yourself glass half full. Leave the rest on the first drafts. So thanks again for taking the time to be here with us at Prep Medians. Smash that like button below. Comment about what else you have questions about regarding test prep or college admissions or applications, and we'll create more videos on a weekly basis for you guys to answer those questions. Subscribe to our channel so you can see it. Most of all, remember, believe in yourself, because I certainly do.